Welcome to the Crossroads, where we honor the duality of life, embracing the darkness, and loving the light. Together we'll explore spiritual philosophy, mythology, shamanic practices, witchcraft, and more. Join me as we journey through the mysteries of life, death, and everything in between. Before we begin, a quick disclaimer. This podcast is for informational and entertainment purposes only and not professional advice. Please use your own discretion and enjoy the show. Hi, welcome to the Crossroads. My name is Angela Rajnigandha. I am the owner of Arcana Apothecary. So today's video I'm hoping will be a little lighter, a little more fun. Today I want to talk about our spirit guides. Who are they? What are they? And how can we connect with them? But before we get started, I have a few business updates. The 50% off sale is still going on, so if you want to take advantage of that, head over to the website. The April issue of my e-magazine is about to come out tomorrow, so if you want to get that issue, go subscribe now at the website. And what else? If you like these videos, please do check out my Patreon. That's where I release my more exclusive videos, my member-only content like lives and a lot of other benefits. Check that out. And then the last thing is that there's a little glitch going on my website right now under the booking pages for services and healing sessions. It's working just fine, but the wrong thumbnail picture is showing up. They're working on it, but you can still book all your readings and your healing sessions just fine. So I appreciate your patience with that. And well, that's it. All right, so let's get started. So our spirit guides are non-physical beings on the other side that have been assigned to help us navigate through this lifetime. We all have spirit guides, whether you're aware of them or not. And they can be our ancestors, they can be animals, they can be human-like or very otherworldly-like galactic beings. They can even be future or past versions of yourself as well, which is really cool to experience. Their purpose is to guide and assist you through your life to complete the goals and missions that you set out to do in this lifetime. So, for example, we've all seen movies that take place in space, right? With an astronaut that sets off on the scary and difficult mission. And then back home, they have this whole team in that big control room. And they are in constant communication with the astronaut back and forth. And their guide to assist the astronaut through their mission, right? So, in this analogy, you essentially are that astronaut. You're the one that left home to go on this incredible mission, and your spirit guides are your team back home. They're the ones whose job it is to assist you from the other side to help you complete your mission. And you have many different types of guides and kind of levels of spirit guides. Some will kind of help you with that day-to-day stuff, while others, like your counsel, will kind of oversee the major events in your life or oversee your entire lifetime as a whole. And we all likely have hundreds of spirit guides. And these guides can come and go throughout your life. Some might stay with you forever, while others might just pop in to help you with a specific period of your life or a specific issue, and then kind of phase out. I mentioned an article I wrote, I think it was for the March issue of the e-magazine, that I've actually had a guide that came forth to help me communicate with the Fae and the Fae realms. And that's it. That was his only job, was to help me communicate back and forth with the Fae. And different guides will help you with different things in different ways. Many will provide healings for you, energetic upgrades, activations, anointings, in addition to guiding you through life's difficulties. They'll work to help you remember who you really are on a soul level. They'll try to help you rediscover your connection with Source in the universe, but overall, they're here to protect you and to assist you and guide you. They're also so appreciative of the work that we're doing here at this time. They truly love us so much, and they're always with us. You're never alone. And learning to work with your spirit guides can be very interesting because they don't all work the same. Some different guides will all have very distinct personalities and ways that they work. Some I found have strong senses of humor, kind of like we do. They'll actually crack jokes and things like that, while others may be very serious. And, some may be really easy and comfortable to communicate with, while others can be very cryptic and actually kind of difficult and challenging to work with. But the majority of guides, in my experience, are extremely helpful in understanding of our needs and our situations. But an interesting situation that I do come across is that some spirit guides have had human lifetimes, but some haven't. And those who haven't, while they're still extremely helpful to us, guiding us and helping us through things, they may not always understand some of the challenges that we face as humans. They may not understand very human-like things, like needing to have a plan, needing to know what to expect, or very human social customs and the ways that those things can be challenging to us. You know, they might see that you have food, you have shelter, you're healthy, all your needs are met, so what are you worrying about? You know, they may not always see the problem, or at least what we perceive as problems. So in some situations like that, you really need to spell it out for them. You need to be very clear and explain exactly what it is that you see as a problem and what you need to resolve it. Like, for an example, if you're expressing that maybe you've been struggling emotionally because maybe you've put on some weight, you're struggling with that. But these guides who have no idea what it's like to be human and to live in this world are like, what are you talking about? You know, you've stored up some great fat reserves. That's fantastic. You know, you're fully prepared in case food becomes scarce. That's great. You know, I thought you humans like to plan ahead. And which they're not wrong to think that way. And that would be absolutely great if we all did think that way. But that's just not life here on Earth. Another thing that I found interesting about learning with guides sometimes is that they'll full on let you get yourself into trouble, or let you get yourself in a bad situation, or even steer you into it. And not because they're bad, not because they don't care or they're neglectful, but because there's something there that you need to learn. And in order for you to fully learn that lesson, you'll need to actually experience it firsthand. And they're with you the whole time. They're watching over and guiding you. But I think that's just something to keep in mind, is that, you know, even if you develop a fantastic relationship with your guides, you know, that doesn't mean that bad things will never happen to you. It doesn't, you know, when they do come, when bad things do happen, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're off track or that you're not listening to guidance. That may be exactly the thing that they needed you to experience at that time. So aside from all that, how can we connect with our guides? The first thing I would say is just to talk to them. They hear you even if you can't hear them. And one way that I first started communicating with my guides is that I would just talk to them before bed. I would sit there and I'd tell them all about my day, and I'd tell them what I struggled with during the day, what I could maybe use some help with, and the things I also really enjoyed from my day, the things I was grateful for, and maybe things about the next day that I was nervous about. And I'll just talk. And that really helped me to kind of get the ball rolling and become comfortable with this idea of talking to them without, I don't know, feeling silly. Because when you first get started, it can feel a little silly. And over time, I learned how to communicate with them in meditation and shamanic journeying. But I just started out just talking. And you can also start out by asking your guides for signs. This is a great way to start receiving feedback from them. And this can come in the form of synchronicities. They can send angel numbers, animals. You might have a lot of ear ringing. They will also communicate a lot in dreams and through sudden ideas or insights. These signs can all be very subtle. So keeping a journal of weird synchronicities that happen in your life, weird dreams or messages that you think might be from them, can help you start to see how they communicate, and you may even notice patterns start to emerge from that. And I definitely don't want you to overthink it. Try to keep an open mind and let go of any expectations that you may have around connecting with your guides. And I want to tell you a story about the first time I asked to meet one of my main spirit guides in meditation. We often have one kind of main guide, or a few even, that do most of the communication, because we have hundreds of guides, and you're not going to be in constant communication with all of them. That would just be overwhelming. So it's likely that, you know, there'll be a single one or a few that step forward, and they're the ones that you do most of your communication with. But anyway, the first time I sat down in meditation, I said, all right, I want to meet my guide. And this was years ago now, when I was first kind of just getting started with this stuff. But I put on my calming music, and I got comfortable, and I got into that meditative state. And Well, let me backtrack just a second here. A little backstory to this, which is relevant, I promise. So you guys know how there'll be trends in like children's clothing and toys and kind of stuff everywhere where a certain animal or creature will be trending. For a while, it was unicorns everywhere, and then it was narwhals on everything, sloths, dinosaurs, mermaids. There's just always these trends. And so I've been seeing this particular animal everywhere. It was trending on kids' clothing, it was trending in like home decor, and I kept seeing it on my Facebook feeds, just absolutely everywhere. So anyway, back to the meditation. So I'm settling in, but I'm having major monkey mind going on. I have thoughts bouncing around like crazy, and I'm getting frustrated because I can't seem to just clear my mind. I'm replaying everything I did that day, everything I saw, and sure enough, that animal that I saw everywhere was popping in. And that animal, it's a little red fox. I was seeing, foxes everywhere. And so I'm having all these images, all these thoughts, and I'm trying to clear my mind, but I keep seeing this stupid little red fox, and it's bouncing around and rolling around. And I'm like, okay, Angie, that's real cute, but let's focus here. I want to meet my guide. But I could not get this fox out of my mind. It would not go away, so eventually I just got so frustrated I gave up, and I was like, you know what, we'll try some other time. And then I think it was just the very next day that I was in the kitchen cooking, and I think I was chopping an onion or something, and it just hit me like a lightning bolt out of nowhere that the fox was the guide. For some reason, I had it stuck in my mind that my guide was going to be a human or human-like or an ancestor, something like that. But it was this fox, and it had been reaching out to me that whole time, and all those synchronicities. I was seeing it everywhere, and I just wasn't getting it. And it was just the funniest thing to me. So right then and there in that kitchen, I dropped everything. I went and I sat down. I got back into meditation. Sure enough, there he is, just smiling away at me. So a little tip, just don't do what I did. Don't have expectations. Try to keep an open mind and really, truly accept whatever comes forth. Now, as you start developing a relationship with your guides, you'll find what works best for you, and you can ask them to communicate in those ways that are easiest for you. If you're a really busy person, it's hard for you to find the time to sit quietly in meditation, you might ask that they communicate in your dreams. For me, my clairvoyance, my sight developed far sooner than like clairaudience. I think that's how you say it, clairaudience. I was having visions and I could see very, very well in meditations and shamanic journeying, but it took me a lot longer to learn how to hear the guidance. So I asked my guides to communicate in visuals for me while I was in meditation or journeying. And sometimes they would even write things down for me to read in the meditation. Like I'd be in my meditation and they'd hand me a note or a scroll or something, and I'd open it up and I'd read it in meditation just because I couldn't hear them well. I couldn't hear the guidance, so they would write things down for me. And I thought that was super cute. But, maybe you're the opposite. Maybe you have a hard time getting visuals and you'll need communication to come through in a different way. So just ask for what you need and be very straightforward about it. One mistake I feel like people make is that you don't need to grovel to your guides. They're not these great gods. And while, yeah, respect them, but you don't need to grovel to them. They're not so above you. They're there to assist you. They're your team back home, Show them respect and gratitude, but don't be afraid to tell them exactly what you need, and even to delegate a little bit. You can actually ask your guides for a team to kind of assist with certain tasks. You can delegate in that way. And I've requested for teams to pretty much stay on post and protect my home. I've asked for teams to surround my bed at night and protect me while I sleep and in my dream state and astral travels. And even for smaller things, like, hey, I'm having a lot of anxiety today. Can you help just clear me or clear my space? And they'll come in and do that for you. You can really ask for help with anything. Nothing is too big or too small or too silly or outrageous. Some questions that I'll frequently ask my guides that help me kind of get started if I don't really have specifics is to ask them, what do you feel I need to know at this time? Or what should I know about this situation? Or how can I improve my physical health at this time? Or my psychic development? Or my energetic health? They are always so happy to answer those things. And communication with your guides can vary at times. There may be times where they seem to go quiet. And don't freak out if that does happen. Those might be times where you just don't need a lot of guidance. Or maybe when they want you to kind of feel through situations on your own. They will always be there ready to chime in when needed. Developing your relationship with your guides can take time, so be gentle with yourself, don't try to force it, and just let it unfold as it will. And everyone's relationship and journey with their guides is unique and will change over time, so just try to have fun with it. And don't put too much pressure on yourself. So tell me in the comments if you guys have connected with your spirit guides and in what ways. What has been your experience? What works for you? And if you enjoy my videos, like, share, subscribe, check out my Patreon. And thank you for joining me here today, and I'll see you next time.
Thank you for joining me at The Crossroads, which is brought to you by Arcana Apothecary. Visit me at arcanaapothecary.com and connect on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so we can continue this journey together. Remember, there's a time for love and light, and there's a time for raising hell. Until next time, I'll meet you at The Crossroads.